No injuries to give you here. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Eagles. Heck of a football team. Very well run from ownership on down through. Nick's done a heck of a job there with the football team. Howie Roseman bringing the players in that they have, and they're very talented. And so well coached and very talented. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, you faced this team back-to-back years, one of the Super Bowl and one of the regular season, but with the addition of Saquon Barkley, just how much can you tell that he's improved that team's offensive and the way they go? Yeah,
sure. He's a great player, a potential future Hall of Famer. He was tremendous at New York, and he had a great year this year with the Eagles. So he's helped him. Especially the rush game, but he can catch the ball. They've got a quarterback that can throw the ball and two wide receivers out there that are tremendous, and a couple tight ends too. So they're fully loaded on the offensive side. But to answer your question, he's been a great addition for him.
Andy, with your love of the history of the game, I don't recall whether did you watch Super Bowl IV when it happened as a kid?
Yep.
Do you remember?
Nope. I remember. Yeah, I watched all of them. Yeah.
Well, that goes back even before your pump passing kick episode, I guess.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
Would you ever consent to being mic'd up during a game, like Hank Stram was?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. Not big on that, but.
Have you ever run 65 tower trap?
We did last week. Yeah. We ran it last week. Yeah. One that Pacheco caught. Tried to score. We didn't quite score, though. Wasn't as good as the one they ran.
You've done the Super Bowl in New Orleans before. What do you remember about that? What, 97 game?
Yeah. That's a great city. And the hospitality was unreal back then, as I'm sure it will be now. They know how to put on a show. And but as coaches and players, you don't get into too much of that. So, but it's a great city. For the fans, I think it's great. Yeah.
Your head coach at that time is a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In what ways did he influence you as a head coach?
Yeah, Mike Holmgren. I felt like when I worked for him, nobody did it better. I still feel that way after being a head coach for all these years. He's a tremendous teacher. Great teacher. So took a ton from him in all areas. How he dealt with players and also the football part. He's got a great mind.
Coach, obviously you can't win without great players, but you've had great success in your 60s. Bill Belichick did. Is that kind of becoming the new sweet spot for coaches? And if so, why is it, you kind of settle in and are as good as you can be, it seems, at that age in the NFL?
Yeah, I think they put something in the Geritol. I don't know. It's probably the experience, I guess, if you had to, and you got good players, which helps, and good coaches, so good organization. We were fortunate to have all of those things, if there's something in common, with that. But
is patience one of them? Do you find that,
Yeah, I think you're probably more patient. You've seen a lot to get to that point. And so I know I'm more patient than when I was a younger head coach.
You're up for one of the finalists for AP Coach of the Year. You won it a couple of decades ago. It's a weird award. Sometimes there's two they don't expect much for. I know you don't care probably if you win this thing, but I think it would be still an honor to be to this point of it with everything you guys have gone through this year that's been recognized by folks.
Yeah, listen, I think it's great for everybody involved. Everybody's got a piece of that. So if that happens, it's great. But I look at those more as really a team honor because it's not a one-man show. So you're really saying that your coaches did good, your players have done well, the organization's done well. If it happens, it happens. I wasn't even sure that was going on, but you could have just made that up.
Coach, one on your
when you ran 65 toss power trap last
Kelce, was that the first time, and is that also what it's called in your playbook too?
Yeah, that's what we call it. So it's a tribute to the old guys. Yeah.
Had you run that before, or was that last
No,
time?
that was the first time, yeah.
A lot has been said about Patrick's locked-innedness in the postseason. Have you seen that evolve over the years that you've worked with him, or has he always been able to maintain just that consistent focus?
He's been good with that. I'd say that's been a consistency. You can really see as the season builds up, he's even more focused and more focused. And you get to this time of the year, he's really locked in. Yeah.
I'm curious if you've heard any of the reactions this week calling him, Michael Jordan, right? What do you make of those kinds of comparisons?
I haven't heard anything. I've tried not to listen to anything. I had to do my media things, but I don't tune in during the season at all.
Andy, on that,
Yeah.
sorry. On that, just this continued issue of you guys maybe getting a friendly whistle, taking away from the actual accomplishments on the field. We've probably been asked that before, but just to react to that.
The what?
The allegations of getting a friendly whistle. There's a change.org petition out there to look at the officiating as regards to the Chiefs. I mean, I know you've heard about it. But.
Yeah, whatever. I think they balance, everything balances out. You got a human element there with the officials. These guys are trying to do the best job they possibly can out there, and they take a lot of heat one way or the other, and coaches take a lot of heat one way or the other. So I don't pay much attention to it.
Coaches, your team use that as motivation? Is that something you're settling into that point where everybody's kind of, you're not the new guys on the block winning. Now people are kind of tired of winning. Is that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Fuel that?
Honestly, I don't get into that. I don't use that with the guys. I mean, I just want to make sure we get prepped. And as coaches, our responsibility is to give them everything we can give them to be even greater than they already are. And then make sure we're digging in on plays to help them with that, and then for them to focus in on learning it and keep themselves physically fit and mentally fit to go play. I mean, there's enough to do just with that, where you don't even have to pay attention to the other stuff.
Coach, one on your plans for this week. Joe Tooney's been so good out at left tackle, but DJ's still in here. Is there any temptation to push Joe back in and go with Humphreys, or will you be sticking to what you've been doing?
Yeah, it'll probably be the same. I mean, we'll rotate them all in there, but I think probably end up being the same when it's all said and done.
Nate, let's go, Nate. We'll go across the room. Go, Nate.
Two things, Andy. What is it about Spags' blitz package that that you find most compelling?
Yeah, so he doesn't do it every down. Sometimes you have this stigma of being a blitz guy, and it's when he does it, and then how he knows the protections or the run scheme, for the run blitzes, how he understands the scheme and when to go ahead about using it. So I think that's what makes him so unique and why they're successful. You can blitz, they know the blitz is coming, they pick it up, and it's one of those deals. You call it, the offensive guy calls the right play for that time. Well, his objective is to find when that's not happening.
Off the field, because you are going back to New Orleans, mind sharing your favorite meal in New Orleans?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, there is one. Emeralds. Not that I turned any of them down, but when I was with the Eagles, the chef there, the head chef, tremendous chef, he was a huge Eagles fan. So he invited me over, and he said, I'm going to start at the ocean and finish in the mountains. He put me in the kitchen, and he said, have at it. So he says, I'll stop when you're full. So 4 hours later.
Travis Kelce's love story with football has made him a winner 3 times over. Though his fame has been enhanced since he began dating pop star Taylor Swift in 2023, Kelce has kept on winning. He is now a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and in New Orleans on February 9th, he will try for championship 4, but Kelce's championship chase has come at a cost. The 35-year-old has seen his statistics decline in the past 2 seasons, even though the Chiefs have reached the Super Bowl in those 2 seasons. Rumor has it that, given the success of his podcast and the start of his acting career, Kelce has already played his final game in Kansas City. Kelce signed a new contract with the Chiefs in April 2024. 2 months after Kansas City won Super Bowl 58 over the San Francisco 49ers. He followed that up with the lowest regular season production of his career, only 823 receiving yards, under 9 yards per catch, and just 3 touchdowns. However, Kelce played a pivotal role once again in guiding the Chiefs to Super Bowl 59. He caught a decisive touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round against the Houston Texans, leading the way with 7 receptions for 117 yards in that win. A year from Kelce's pending free agency, the Chiefs will have a choice to make, as will Kelce, whose New Heights podcast came under the Amazon umbrella last year. If Kelce renegotiates or restructures his contract after Super Bowl 59, it will in all probability be the final contract he signs as an NFL player. Of course, as his romance with Swift continues to evolve, Kelce may have already signed his final contract, the 2-year pact that was agreed upon last spring. After all, going out on top with a Super Bowl win over the Philadelphia Eagles would be a pretty romantic way to say goodbye to football. The Kansas City Chiefs have advanced to the Super Bowl for the 5th time in the past 6 years, and the opportunity to make history is now within reaching distance. For an aging superstar, there would be few better ways to leave the game than with 3 straight championships. Michael Jordan did it, at least initially, after his second three-peat with the Chicago Bulls. Now, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, could have the opportunity to do the same. Kelce has been the centerpiece of the Chiefs' offense, serving as the one constant weapon that the passing attack has revolved around. As he looks to clinch his 4th Lombardi trophy, however, his playing career may be coming to an end. Cut candidate or not, Travis Kelce could be playing his last game. Pro Football Network suggested Kelce could be a cut candidate under 2 different scenarios: he retires or he's cut and re-signed to a cap-friendly deal. Of those 2 options, the latter is unlikely to happen. Despite his diminishing ability, the Chiefs agreed to raise Kelce's salary in a 2-year deal last off-season. After years of being severely underpaid, it's unlikely that Kansas City would ask him to take a pay cut. After all, there weren't any new developments this season that they weren't already aware of when they signed the deal. Also, Kelce has an $11.5 million roster bonus that becomes guaranteed in match. The retirement, however, is certainly a possibility. Before the season, Kelce joked that he wouldn't listen to the coaching staff if they attempted to lighten his workload. In reality, the lightening of his workload began to take place years ago. Kelce played a career-high 95% of the team's offensive snaps during the 2018 season. But that number has steadily declined ever since. In 2020, his snap share was the lowest since his first year as a starter in 2014. In 2023, he played just 77% of the team's offensive snaps. That number went up to 84% this season, but that was likely due to Kansas City's reliance on 12 personnel, which they were forced into by a slew of injuries to their wide receivers. In Chiefs head coach Andy Reid's West Coast system, Kelce has frequently detached from shotgun formations as a YISO tight end. The alignment positioned Kelce to play in a traditional wide receiver role despite being listed on the depth chart as a tight end, and he's been dominant in that role. It's no secret that he's lost a step in recent years. However, his 823 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns were the lowest of his career since he became a starter. At this stage, it might be time for Kelce to consider stepping aside before his production begins to hurt the team more than it helps.